Imagine if there was a tap that controlled the water for your crops, your food supply, and your entire rural economy. That's exactly how millions of people in Bangladesh experience water sharing with India. Today we're talking about the Teesta and Farakka water disputes and how upstream control of rivers gives India enormous power over Bangladesh's seasons, farms, and its future. But first, some context. Bangladesh and India share 54 rivers. Most of them flow from India into Bangladesh. That makes India the upper riparian, as in the country that's upstream, and Bangladesh the lower riparian, the one that's completely dependent on whatever water flows downwards. And that's exactly where the problem begins. Let's start with the Teesta River. The Teesta is crucial for northern Bangladesh, especially for rice farming. But here's the catch. About 90% of the river's water flows during the monsoon, when Bangladesh already has too much water. The remaining 10% comes in the dry season, and that's when farmers need it the most. But during those dry months, India diverts and controls much of the Teesta's flow through upstream barrages. And naturally, downstream in Bangladesh, canals dry up, fields are left uncultivated, farmers are forced to abandon food crops and switch to less profitable options like tobacco. In short, seasonal droughts are artificially created not by lack of rain but by upstream control by India. Now, flip the season. During the monsoon, India sometimes releases excess water suddenly. That results in flash floods in Bangladesh, washing away crops, homes, and infrastructure with little to no warning. Essentially, India releases too much water when it's not needed and too little water when it actually is needed. That's the upstream tap in action. Now let's talk about Farakka. The Farakka Barrage was built by India on the Ganges to divert water toward Kolkata. Since the 1970s, it has dramatically reduced dry season flows into Bangladesh. And even though there's a treaty in place, Bangladesh still faces salinity intrusion, dying rivers, collapsing fisheries, and groundwater depletion, especially in the southwest. Put simply, Farakka affects ecology while Teesta hits agriculture. Together, they squeeze Bangladesh from both ends. So, why hasn't this been resolved? The simple answer is Indian politics. In 2011, India and Bangladesh came close to signing a Teesta water sharing agreement, but India's West Bengal state government blocked it, arguing that it would harm local farmers. Water in India is a state subject, which means domestic politics can override international commitments. For Bangladesh, that means uncertainty year after year. Let's hear from Mariam Tamoor, who has researched this topic extensively.
The first major issue is that the state of India doesn't want to give the share that Bangladesh has been asking for. So there has been an issue between how much share that Bangladesh will get or how much share India will get, because India is not ready to give much percentage of the water flow. Second issue is because water is a state subject in India and the trajectory and the hydrological profile of the Teesta is like that, it comes under West Bengal. And currently and for the past 3 tenures, the government has been of Mamata Banerjee, All India Trinamool Congress. And they don't gel well with the BJP. And even before Mamata Banerjee, AITMC's government in West Bengal, the issue has been persistent because water is a subject of the state. West Bengal has not been ready to give that water share to Bangladesh. So basically, it is not only an issue between Bangladesh and India, it is also an issue between the state of West Bengal and India. So that aggravates the problems, and that is why it is still the Teesta River dispute water sharing agreement is lying in a dead letter.
And this isn't just about water, it's actually about power. When one country controls the flow, timing, and volume of a shared river, it controls livelihoods downstream. In an agrarian economy like Bangladesh, that translates into food insecurity, rural poverty, and forced migration. Add climate change to the mix, and that results in less predictable rainfall, higher temperatures, and the risks just multiply. So the real question isn't whether India also faces water stress, because it does. The question is that can unilateral upstream control ever be fair?
Yeah, there are international platforms available. Recently, I think Bangladesh also ratified UN's conventions such as Law of Non-Navigational Use of International Water Courses of 1997, and there is another convention that Bangladesh abides to, that is Convention on the Protection and Use of Transboundary Water Courses in International Lakes of 1992. But I think that can only change the, I would say, I cannot even say de facto status, because this is an issue that exists between the states, and you can only gain international traction and argue it on the international front that being a lower riparian, it is affecting us on the basis of the international environmental law and international environmental flow law. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down and boils down to India and Bangladesh coming to it. And also I would like to add that there is another factor that has been added to this dispute, and that is China. Because recently in 2016 probably, China has agreed to start a mega development project at Teesta, and that has made India also change its shift, and they're ready to not agree on water sharing, but they have agreed to go to the developmental side. So China has also been added into this element. So it has not now remained a bilateral issue. It has now rather become a trilateral issue from the Indian point of view. And also Bangladesh's government, the interim government of Mohammad Yunus, he is also very much interested, and they have also asked for the loan for that mega development project. And from the Bangladeshi side, because we cannot isolate anything from the political dimensions also, seeing what has happened right now in Bangladesh with the Hasina Wajid's, the July revolution, overthrowing of the Hasina Wajid's government, and the growing resentment of the Bangladeshi government and the people, I would say, against India. There is an urgency, but there doesn't seem to be an appetite on the Indian side, especially the West Bengal's government, to resolve this issue. So I would say it will remain stalled. It will remain stalled. It will remain suspended in the near future.
Essentially, all of this means that as long as one country controls the tap, which is India in this case, another country can only be left with the option to live with drought.